Hey guys, it's Epic Underworld, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys everything that I own and have created for trading card games. This is my full collection, and I want to do this video because when I was growing up and I watched Chaos Galaxy's video where he was doing a collection showcase, that was always my favorite video of his. It always inspired me. So I'm going to be doing kind of a same video like that, and hopefully it'll inspire you guys to work on your card games and expand and have fun with it. Alright, so starting off, these aren't the most trading card game related things, but this is a trading card art piece I made in art class. So that's with some Epic Underworlds cards right there. This is actually, I gave my grandma a pack of cards, and she ended up having them framed, and this was like really early Epic Wars TCG edition, so some of the arts aren't crazy, but she framed this and then she ended up giving it to me. So it's just really cool to have a lot of these early characters, and this pack ended up having a lot of the iconic ones like Zormax, Rock Protector, which is super awesome. So I always kind of have this hanging in my room, and it kind of just reminds me of how far I've come going from this all the way to the art I'm making now. So next, you guys might have seen these hanging on my wall in some of my videos, but these are some little frames of just my favorite cards from trading card games. Like, these games are all from the community. We got Chaos Galaxy, Wrath of Kors, Shard TCG, Last 10 Elementals, Skyscape, Rune, Kingdoms, Sentinels and Bosses, and Stranded. So those are some really awesome games. We got some Skyscape. He always does art cards for his starter decks, so I really like how they look, so I framed them. And then these are just some iconic Epic Underworlds characters from my game that I had framed. Alright, so before I get into the stuff that you guys are probably looking forward to most, I'm going to be getting into this. So I'll probably have to do a full video on this, but these are all my old TCGs plus some other games in here. This is all Epic Underworlds 1.0 and 2.0, and then Epic Wars TCG reprinted. So those are all that. This is Epic Wars TCG, the original edition. So this is like my biggest HTCG I made when I was young. And I'm actually got these giant sleeves. So I'm going to be sleeving up the first set and all my favorite cards of Epic Wars TCG just to kind of protect them because those are valuable to me. These are a bunch of my other old TCGs that I might have shown before. That's a watercolor TCG down there. Some Epic Wars TCG decks, Pokemon, Sketchbook Chronicles. He actually autographed me a card, my favorite one in the game, called Sniper, or Snipper. And then we got some Rune TCG decks here, and then some Epic Underworlds cards. Paper Guys TCG, my first card game ever. The original deck kit. This was me trying to make kind of a bundle, like in Magic the Gathering, but for my game. Last 10 Elementals and some more Sketchbook Chronicle stuff. So that was pretty much this box. It's got some old TCGs in there. It's kind of huge. And then over here we have my art books. So I used to really be into collecting art books. I thought they were so cool. They would always inspire me. The one that probably inspired most of my art, actually a whole set, was Beksinski, all of his volumes. It's kind of a darker artist, but I think he has a super amazing imagination. Then we have a Theories of Modern Art. I know this looks like a boring textbook, but it actually has some of Vincent van Gogh's letters in there, which I always love reading. And you can also learn a bunch of stuff that you can kind of apply to TCGs in there. I do have a dictionary. You might be wondering why, but whenever I'm coming up with card names, I just look through the dictionary, find a cool word, and kind of tie it into the art itself. This is an encyclopedia of colored pencil techniques. I didn't learn too much from this, so I can't say I would recommend it too much, but if you're just getting into colored pencils, maybe this is the way to go, but you'd honestly be better off with some YouTube videos. But one book that's better than most YouTube videos, in my opinion, is this book. It's Figure Drawing, Design, and Invention by Michael Hampton. Even just copying the sketches in this book made me so much better at anatomy. So you can either read it cover to cover, or you can just kind of take some poses and stuff and kind of sketch that into your cards, which is really awesome and helpful. The Henry Dreyfuss Symbol Sourcebook, which is basically a dictionary of symbols, and sometimes I like to include those in my cards, and it's definitely not needed for a card game, but I always like to have it. This is a Van Gogh kind of collection of his art, which I just love Van Gogh. He's my favorite artist of all time, and I just love his art so much. Then we have The Creative Act, which is kind of an art philosophy book, and it taught me quite a bit. It really opened my eyes to art, so I definitely recommend that. Then over here I was working on a binder of all my favorite homemade trading cards that were made by you guys to inspire me. So that binder is in the works. It's kind of just with card sleeves right now. This box just has a bunch of packaging. No cards in here, just packaging I like to keep of Skyscape, Wrath of Kors, some of my early products I made when I was little. Kingdoms. Oh wait, this is actually a deck. Okay, well, that shouldn't be in here, but that's a Kingdoms deck. These are some early booster pack arts. So this is Unleashed TCG. Speaking of Unleashed, he actually helped me design these. He fully designed this one too, and he fully designed the packs, but he was my best. He probably stepped up my game way more in the graphic design area because I wasn't that good at it at the time. I ended up getting the Wrath of Kors beta box, which I was absolutely in love with when it first came out, because Wrath of Kors is just my favorite HTCG of all time to play. I think it's super awesome. I haven't played it in a while, but I still play the old edition that doesn't have all the new cards on untap. I kind of just like that vintage style. This deck box is filled with all my Chaos Galaxy decks when I play with friends. I'm actually going to go to college, and I'll definitely take all of these card games, maybe film a few Chaos Galaxy battle videos. We got some Abyss Garden products, which I have not yet opened, but I am going to get around to making videos on them soon. We got some Chaos Galaxy battle zones for when I do playthroughs with my friends. We got a Mobimon deck. The other Mobimon deck's in here somewhere, same with some Astronomica decks. We got some Wrath of Kors sleeved up decks and a bunch of other Wrath of Kors cards. Okay, so this is my TCG binder. I'm going to have to make a whole video on this in the future, but this is basically, there's just a bunch of good stuff in here. So there's some watercolor Perpetual Cosmos cards. I have everything from old packaging arts to new art. I'm definitely going to have to make a video about this in the future. There's all the EU art in here, EU 1.0 art, playtest cards, and game ideas. So I don't know if I should show that in a video because there's a lot of precious stuff in there, but maybe. Then we have all my homemade trading card games that I bought from you guys. So these are your guys' games, like Heroic, one of the first TCGs I got into. Sentinels and Bosses. We got Afro Chibi Champs in here. We have a Cardmaster TCG back when he sold his cards on eBay. A bunch of Wrath of Kors cards because I was kind of obsessed with that game. Still am, just I haven't been playing it that much. This box is just filled with Rune TCG. I had a Rune TCG phase where I just really loved his game, so every Christmas I would just buy a bunch of his packs. Okay, so this is my Essential Wrath of Kors box. He made this game super awesome, and these contain basically my decks that I play with the most. Or wait, actually no. Oh, this is Skyscape. I guess the Wrath of Kors stuff's in it. I think it's in here, but yeah, so I take it back. These are actually all my Skyscape decks. Super awesome TCG. I think my favorite deck has to be the Taharos deck because it's just so awesome, and I love Taharos. So, yeah, despite this being a Wrath of Kors box, that is all Skyscape. Then we have the Planetary Collections. I just store all my Chaos Galaxy stuff in here. Super awesome game, Chaos Galaxy. He did such a good job on it. Was a pillar to the HTCG community. Now he's working on a new game, but still, I think playing I think playing his old versions and even Little Dudes is just kind of a joy. These are some TCG sketchbooks. Okay, so this right here is super special. This is what I've kind of been away from. I haven't shown you guys any of this really, but something new is coming, and so get excited. There's a bunch of good stuff in the sketchbook so far, and I'm working on some new stuff. These are my art supplies. So we have a color wheel for my Prismacolor set of pencils. Then I have some Karan Dash. They're really expensive, so I couldn't buy a full set because they're just kind of crazy expensive. They're like the Copic markers of colored pencils, so it's not like I can get all of them. Okay, so these are all my major TCGs that I've made within the last year or two. So they're pretty recent. This is like Underworlds TCG, Epic Underworlds, Perpetual Cosmos. I think this is like 3.0 or 4.0. Dream Descent, Perpetual Cosmos version, I don't know. And then we have another Perpetual Cosmos version with a bunch of other little TCGs in there. Then we got my art supplies that I use most. So despite the colored pencils, I still have some supplies. If you're going to be a colored pencil artist, I definitely recommend having a sort of brush to kind of get away all the pencil bits. It's really helpful. I have a little black Karan Dash one because I use that so much, and then I have some blenders. I'm trying to stop using so many blenders because I think using like the actual colors, like the lighter ones to blend is better. But yeah, got my eraser, got my fine liner. This is the one I use. It's 0.1 by Staedtler. Highly recommend it. This is a mono zero eraser. So if I ever need to get in some really fine details in my art, which is my art's really small, so it has to be detailed, then I use that. Got a mini ruler, and then my favorite, probably my favorite thing in my whole collection for art supplies, it's my Graph Gear 1000 Pentel P. It's just a super awesome mechanical pencil. I have a Staedtler sharpener, and then I hardly ever use markers, but whenever I do, I kind of just have a little case of them, so I haven't really used those at all. This is a little paper cutter that is exactly 4 cards because it's so small. This is a TCG design journal. This journal is not to be shown for game design purposes only. Well, I guess I'll show you one page, but this is me designing a new game. Then we got some Rune TCG packaging randomly, and then that's my Magic collection for when I play Magic the Gathering. So that was everything that I wanted to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Binder video coming soon, don't worry. And if you guys have any questions about what supplies that I recommend, or where to get those books, or anything else about trading card games, I'd be happy to answer them. But that was this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.